Okay, so before we get started, we'll need to install the DAZ 3D software, which is completely free and available at daz3d.com. And there, you'll just need to head over to the Download Studio tab. And if it's your first time on the site, you'll need to set up an account. So I'll just fill this in quickly and start creating. And that'll take you to the downloads page and start downloading the software to your computer automatically. And there's also a few handy videos worth watching on this page as well. Then when that's done downloading, we'll need to go through the installation steps. So let's just click through here. And when it asks which directory you want to install this to, I'd recommend putting this in the default directory, which is the C drive. And it's definitely possible to install to another drive, but in my experience, that can lead to some issues later on. Also, once you've got a load of DAZ assets installed on your machine, your DAZ library can become pretty massive. So just keep that in mind when you go to choose your drive. Then we'll hit next and again, and that should start installing. And I'll just fast forward that. And now we have DAZ Central installed on our computer. So let's just sign in with the login details we just created. Then you'll be prompted to install DAZ Studio, but you might want to go out of that and just check your settings here first. And just make sure DAZ Studio is also being installed to the correct directory. And as I said before, you definitely want to make sure you've got plenty of space available here because your DAZ library will get pretty big pretty fast. And this also defaults to the C drive as well, which is fine for me, but you can switch it to another drive if you like. And with that set up, let's now install DAZ Studio, which is where we'll be spending most of our time in this course. Okay, so now that that's done, you can open DAZ Studio by clicking here or on the shortcuts that have been created on your desktop. You can also head over to the DAZ Studio tab in DAZ Central and launch the studio here. And you can also find any assets that are linked to your account under My Assets. And obviously, as this is a brand new account, we haven't purchased any assets yet, but we can see a few of the free assets here that we can choose to install if we want to. And we'll also look at another way to install assets a little later on. And finally, we can also find any plugins we have available up here and some resources and a few tutorials created by the guys at DAZ to get you started. So let's fire up DAZ Studio and I'll see you in the next lesson.